Okay.
No. Good evening. I'm Steve Malinowski, Water Distribution. Probably gonna want to talk here a little later. Hopefully after the meeting. But my organization is basically construction, maintenance, and operation of the water distribution system: tanks, reservoirs, main lines, trunk lines, rated stations. We also provide services in engineering and support the city maintenance, street maintenance. Ron and I work really closely together. We have monthly meetings to discuss what's going on in his organization, so we can make sure our two groups don't overlap. We don't install a new main when he's going to be installing some new paving going on in a couple of months. So we also, our responsibility is new services, small, large fire hydrants. We also main extensions. So we're a 24-hour organization, so at 2 o'clock in the morning when you see staff come out to fix that main or hit fire hydrants, something like that, that is the employees in my organization. Basically, I work very closely with the city council members and the reps. We actually have a very supportive council staff. I get notifications often to some support, and I'm there if they need me. So I know there'll probably be questions about the water main breaks and things like that, so I'll be around to answer those.
Thank you. Now I'd like to now have Wayne Williams come up. He has the questions, and they'll be directed to individual people, and you can just use the microphones that are on the table.
Hi everybody, thank you very much for being here this evening. We have two different types of questions that are being asked. They're general questions that everybody would be interested in, and then there are more specific questions to certain neighborhoods. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover the general questions first. If we have time, we'll go into the specifics for certain neighborhoods. If not, we have them set aside here, and you should come up. I will have your sheet, which should have your information on it, and you'll be able to go directly to the individual who appropriately can respond to your specific concern. So let's get started. First off, from Ron Olive, or from Ron Olive, from Carol Locatell, cleaning of storm drains. When will it occur? Some of the ones south of Ventura Boulevard are filled with debris. And I'll just add to that, I tend to cycle a lot on my bike, and I notice that I sometimes have this fantasy that if somebody threw a match into one of these things, a whole neighborhood could go up. So I'm very curious, since we're not getting rain flushing this stuff out, or the debris is building up so much, what's the situation?
Here's one of those. Paul?
Put the mic on, please. Gotta go talk.
Okay. Can you hear me? No. Anyway, this is one of those bureaucratic borders, if you will. While we do all the street cleaning with the motor sweepers, and pretty much anything that is below ground that falls in the catch basin, our sister Bureau of Sanitation takes care of. They have the big vacuum trucks, the big blue trucks you've probably seen, the vacuum cleaners. And excuse me. And so what I'd like to do is, if you have specific locations, I'll take this back and I will pass it on to Bureau of Sanitation. But again, that is something that it's unfortunately the equipment we have and the expertise we have, we don't do the cleaning of the actual catch basins themselves.
Who does it?
Bureau of Sanitation.
Okay. And in terms of reaching the Bureau of Sanitation, if somebody has a specific complaint about a specific facility, what should they do?
I think the best answer, and I think that goes for all of us, is dial 311, and then it gets logged, and you'll get a service request number, and it gets tracked that way. So you can always refer to that number that you're given, and again, it sounds too simple, but really that is the best way to track these requests.
Okay, that was one of the questions. What is the process that takes place when somebody calls in? Do you track these calls as they come into your individual departments? Do you have a tracking list to see how people are responding? What takes place in that regard? Would somebody like to take a stab at that one? Gentlemen?
Yes. See if that mic works. For the Department of Building and Safety, if you call 311 and turn a complaint in, you get a customer service request number. You can track that online at ladbs.org by putting the address into our property activity report, and you can find out the status of the complaint and who the supervisor and the inspector is that's working it.
So it is available online?
Online for us.
Okay, great. Are there any situations that the city could require a developer to replace trees that were cut down during construction? The trees and landscaping that border the property line near their home was basically cut and not replaced by the developer.
This is actually a multi-agency question. When planning requires a developer to, in their conditions, to replace trees, which is pretty much a typical requirement, it's a one-to-one replacement for trees over 12 inches in diameter. Outside of that, unless I'm wrong, I don't think there's any requirement to save anything else on the property unless it's a protected tree. Protected trees I've already named. If it's a protected tree, my division is totally responsible for that, for the enforcement of that, and we would be doing that. There's nothing that urban forestry can do, and actually Frank's group, that they were brought in for something that was done about the 12-inch or greater trees on private property, could possibly cite them. Frank just said it's possible. But in general, private property is not urban forestry. That would be enforced by the Department of Building and Safety.
Quick question, follow-up. With regards to establishing a tree or to make sure a tree is protected, what is the criteria for that and what's the process?
Okay, the city has established the protected trees. Again, there's three species in one genus. The genus oak, which is Quercus. All oak trees native to Southern California are protected. The two predominant ones are coastline oak and valley oak. Those are the two predominant ones here. Also the California sycamore, which is a platanus genus. Racemosa is the species. The California bay, which is Umbellularia californica, is the species. And the Southern California black walnut, not black walnut in general, but the Southern California black walnut, which is, oh gosh, I'm drawing a total blank here all of a sudden. Somebody help me who knows the black walnut genus.
Close enough.
No, I'm drawing a total blank. Anyways.
Where's Gordon Worley when you do that?
The Southern California black walnut is the Juglans nigra is the actual genus and species. Those are the four trees that are protected. You can, on your own, on your property, designate any tree that you would like to have protected in perpetuity if you're willing to place it on the deed of the property. And it becomes part of the escrow material in any future sale. So you can do that yourself. And that's how that would have to be done.
Okay, great answer, great question. Let's keep moving on. This one I'm sure everyone would be very interested in. Since property values have gone down, how do we change the assessment value on our property tax bill? Anyone?
That's a county issue. Not them.
Okay, it's a county issue, so they should do what, Matt? They should get in touch with the county. Okay.
The county assessment.
Are there plans to widen Valley Vista Boulevard? If not, why is there a 20-foot easement for widening of the south side of Valley Vista from Sepulveda to Van Nuys?
Ron?
Again, I'm embarrassed that I can't answer these questions, but street widening, again, is not a task of the Bureau of Street Service. That's our other sister Bureau of Engineering, probably in the capital improvement program, would oversee that. So again, I'm not going to punt. I'm going to take that back and get a good answer from the Bureau of Engineering. But basically, Tom, that's why I was hoping you would.